Hey guys, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Mgtow is men going their own way. What does that mean? Well, it means you making decisions for yourself about your life, about what's important to you. To not be Mgtow, to not go your own way, is to let society dictate to you what your life is about. To let the matriarchy decide for you what is best in life for you. It's to let everyone else choose except you. And I'm going to choose to pour a glass of the Balvenie here. You see, this is a trick. It's a cruel little joke that life has played on us as modern men. You see, how would you ever know what life is about as a modern man? Your job, according to everybody else, is to please somebody else. I want you to first examine with me the meaning of the word work. Right? It means to toil. Right? To spend time. Right? To give something to others. Work. Right? There's lots of ways to think about work. One of its synonyms is the word worship. It means to work for. Balvenie makes a good scotch. So to work for is to worship, and to worship is to work for. Now, leaving religious dogma aside, I don't care what the dogma is, it doesn't matter. Leaving that aside, the word worship means to work. And right, who do you work for? Who do you worship? Today, modern man is told you have to worship women. You have to give your time. You have to toil for. You have to sacrifice yourself. Right? That's what they're telling you. It's a way to control you. Now, for all the young men watching, you guys have a chance to break free of this right now. I read a lot of comments on this channel, and I read a lot of comments on other people's channels where young men say, what's my life about? I think I want to have kids. I think I want to get married. Right? Now, examining physiologically the desire to work for someone else, the desire to have a kid and family, right? The physiological part of working for comes from a man's drive, his desire to accomplish, his body knowing that's part of living. He has to get up and work or he'll die. The part about having kids is hormonal and it's physiological. That's your testicles telling you to put your cock in a woman and impregnate her, right? If you are powerful enough, strong enough, smart enough, and you're living and succeeding, you should be breeding also. So your desire to have children, if you step back from the emotional side, push that away, and just look logically, with reason, if you have the desire to bang women and make children, that means you're a good man. It means you're a strong man, and it means you're a successful man. Because a weak, unsuccessful dumbass, he doesn't want kids. He doesn't know anything about it, right? And if he does manage to get a hard-on and fall on top of a woman and impregnate her, it's usually by accident. But if you have a strong mental desire, those hormones are affecting you mentally, making you want to have children. The difference between Mgtow and the rest of the world is you don't have to succumb to that desire to the extent that you create children, unless you want to. Right? And if you want to, then typically that requires marrying a woman. So understanding why you want to have children, it's physiological. And it is society reinforcing that physiology through indoctrination. It's a way to trap you. It's a 1-2 punch that would make Cassius Clay jealous of its effectiveness. Because every fucking man, every man's man, every strong man feels this innate urge, this desire to have children, to fuck women. And they use that trick, your hormones and their indoctrination, to drive you to the wedding chapel and get you hitched to some bitch. Right? That's how it's done. But is that your life? Is that your purpose? Speaking of work, some people love to work late. Is that your purpose in life? What is your purpose? What is our purpose as a human species? What is our purpose in each culture and society? What is our purpose as individuals? Right? These are great questions, and they've been asked today, and they were asked thousands of years ago. The great philosophers, Plato, Mgtow, Socrates, Aristotle, right? They thought about these big questions the same as you and me. They had the same drive back then. They had the same intellect. They had the same questions to ask. What is life for? What is it about? What's our role together? All of those great philosophical ideas. Understanding argument and thought. Debate. What is best for individuals? What is best for the people? All of those great questions. And then there's the spiritual questions. What is my purpose in life? Is there a God? Is there a supreme being? Right? Does it matter even? Should there have to be a supreme being? These are all questions that men like to think about. Now, if you go to church and they just sit there and preach at you and drive it in your head, that's the same as indoctrinating you at school, in front of the television set. But if you have the ability to think about any thought, whether it's secular or religious, whether it's in your face or in the future, this question of thinking is one that men have. Who controls your life? Who? Social rules, right? Don't drive over 55. Don't drive over 70. Appear here in court or it's your ass. There's those type of rules which we can't avoid. And then there's other types of rules that you have a choice whether or not you want to follow. One of the big ones is political correctness. Do you have to follow it? Are they just fucking with you? Or can you think for yourself and then challenge them on an intellectual basis? When I was married, I used to sit down and think a lot, or at least try to. And my now ex-wife, back then, she would interrupt me and ask me what I was thinking about, and I'd tell her, and right over her fucking head. Right? And I said, look, I'm just sitting here pontificating. I don't even know if she understood what it was I was actually trying to do. I was considering life's marvels, the greatness of it, what I was supposed to be doing, what really mattered. But how can you consider such thoughts? How is it possible? When someone is in your face screeching at you, when you're busy worshiping your job and worshiping government that is working for them to make money to pay for stuff, to make money to pay your taxes, to make money to satisfy your wife, to make money to pay for the houses and the cars and all the debt and bullshit. You're so busy worshiping materialistic notions that you don't get to worship yourself. That is, work for yourself. Think for yourself. Live for yourself. As Mgtow, gentlemen, that becomes your prerogative. You can work as hard as you want or not. You still have to pay your taxes, right? You don't want to end up in the slammer. But you get a chance to worship as you see fit. This idea and the freedom of religion here in the United States of America, the freedom to worship and believe what we want to believe, and not be required by church dogma. And now today we have secular horseshit. The PC world. Don't talk about queers. You can't bring up the fact that that guy's brown, that guy's black, that guy's yellow, and you just happen to be white. You're not allowed to talk about that shit. Why? Why not? Why not celebrate our differences as well as the things that bring us together? Right? Well, because it's embarrassing. You better not do it. It's best if you just don't do it. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Put your head down. Go back to work. You need to have kids, get married. You need to fall in line with the system. And that is why men are where they're at. They've been tricked. They've been hypnotized into believing that that world, the world of the matriarchy, is reality. It is not, I contend, reality. It is a fabricated bullshit story. And you, my brothers, have been duped into believing it's real. Unless you're Mgtow, or you just started to taste, right, Mgtow, and you want to claw your way out of this shit. Then you can do what you want. And you don't have to consider the bigger picture, the vastness of the universe, whether the world is round or flat, right? Whether there's life after death. You don't have to consider any of that stuff. You can just go about the day pleasing yourself. Buy yourself a sports car, a motorcycle, a four-wheel drive, whatever you want. Go on vacations. Take a nap. Whatever you want. But the key is that you understand worship, work. You are told, as men, I was told, that you need to grow up, get a job, get married, have children. As if that was the only thing in life, as if that is your purpose. Indeed, in that definition, you are truly, right, an automaton. You're a facsimile of what a man really is, if that's all you are. Right? You're a copy. You're an android. It is truly horrifying to me when I see what is done to men. You know, your life is yours. You should be able to live it as you see